Good morning. Welcome, both in the sanctuary and online, to the Sunday service of the Unitarian Universalist Church of St. Petersburg. I'm joined today by Bianca, Elliot, Ruth, and my husband, John. We acknowledge that we are on the unceded ancestral lands of the Tocobaga and Seminole Native Americans. My name is James Mack, if you don't know me already, and I'm happy to have been a part of UU St. Pete for over 5 years now. Reverend Ben, our newly settled minister, is away in New England this week, but he will be back in a couple of days. I'm so glad to lead today's worship with Bianca.
Thanks, James. Good morning, everyone. It's me again. If you want a church where people look for the wonder in the many mysteries of life, where aging is a gift and a beauty, I have great news for you. You may have found your church home.
Thanks, Bianca. We have one announcement today, and that announcement is that there is a LGBTQ plus brunch this afternoon, immediately after the service, at Neptune Grill in Gulfport. So if you haven't signed up already, that's good because there's no sign up, but you can just go there. I think it's at 12:30 in Gulfport.
And happy Hanukkah. Hanukkah means dedication in Hebrew. It's a holiday that commemorates the time when a small group of Jews rose up against the Greek-Syrian rulers to rededicate the Temple of Jerusalem and light its menorah for worship, which, as the story goes, had enough oil to last only a single night. The light miraculously burned for 8 nights. We want to give a special welcome to newcomers. If you are new to UU St. Pete, or even relatively new, can you give us a wave? Wave. Hello, hello, hello. Raise your hand if you're willing to introduce yourself, no pressure, and James will bring the microphone around to you. So if you're willing to, you don't have to. This is a safe space.
Willing to. I'm Forrest, and I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alois. I'm from Canada. I'm with my father here, and I'm so happy to be with you. Thank you.
Welcome. Anyone else? I'm looking.
Going once, going twice.
Okay, well, to everyone who did not want to speak, that's okay, and we're so glad you're here. Thank you for silencing your cell phones. Regarding masks, we are not mandating them, but masks are available at either entrance. Let's take a brief moment to greet our neighbors, and remember to get consent if you're going to shake someone's hand or give a hug.
Yeah, I don't have any blank ones up here. I can write it in. Let's write it down. I've got one here. And then there's two. writing that down. Thank you.
Okay, so as Ray lights our chalice, if he's willing and able. Okay, as Ray lights our chalice, please listen to these words. The mystery among us and the mystery within us are the same mystery. Tongue twister. Mystery creates wonder, and wonder is the basis of man's desire to understand. Now let's give voice to our shared connection by saying our covenant together. The words can be found in your program and online in the text chat. Love
Is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Now, please rise as you are willing and able for our first hymn, number 1000 in your teal hymnal. Morning has come.
Morning has come, arise and greet the day. Dance with joy and sing a song of gladness. The light of hope here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. A new day dawns, once more the gift is given. Wonder fills this moment shared together. The light of peace here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. Open our eyes to see that life abounds. Open hearts to welcome it among us. The light of love here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guard our journey home.
Thank you. Please be seated. I invite all of our children now to come forward and take your seats on the new mats that Elliot is spreading out.
Good morning. I'm going to have a seat here this morning with all of my friends. My name is Erin Powers, and I am the youth lead and also help with storytelling here. And today's Time for All Ages is about our hands. And I want to note first that with anything, when we are talking about bodies, There are always going to be many intersections of abilities, life events, and culture. And I want you to know that these are held gently and lovingly. And so I invite you to participate only if it is good for your heart. And now, for our children and youth, I want to ask y'all, have you ever compared your hands to one of your adults' hands? You're like, hold them up. Yeah. Or even like an older adult, like a grandparent, someone like that in your life. Yeah, it's kind of fun to see the difference in like the size of your hands and an adult's hands. Yeah, and so I did that a lot growing up as well. And when I did that, I would also notice the difference in how they looked, right? If y'all look at your hands, when we're young, our hands are very smooth and they're soft, and of course they're smaller in size than when we are an adult. But as we get older, they get less soft and they usually get less smooth. They get lots and lots of tiny wrinkles. Sometimes they get big wrinkles. All sorts of changes happen to our hands as we grow up. And our bodies, they change in so many ways too. But our hands change so much because we use them so much. They help us do so many awesome things. And what are some of the things that y'all use your hands to do? Yes? Pick up a pencil. Paint. Anything else? Color? Yeah. Drawing? Yes. Pick up a stuffed animal. So many things. We've got a very artsy crowd here with us today. And as we grow, we continue to do lots of things, and that can shape how our hands change as we grow. Like if you use your hands to build things, your hands might become really strong and thick, and your skin might get rough from handling all the wood and screws and heavy tools. Yeah. And if you use your hands to play an instrument or a craft, you might end up with like bumps or dents where you hold your instruments or your tools. Or maybe your hands got hurt and has scars or missing parts. Since we use our hands for so many things, it's easy for them to get hurt. So we have to be careful with our hands as we're growing up. But no matter what we do with our hands, they will change in a lot of ways as we grow, and they will help us do amazing things. And when we are older, our hands will tell a story about the kind of things that we have done. So for my friends here, what kind of story do you think your hands might tell as you grow older? What kind of things will you have done? Paint? Excellent. What other kind of things do you think you'll do as you grow older? Gymnastics. All right. Anything else? Yeah. Basketball. Yeah. And all these things that y'all do with your lives will change your hands. And as you grow older, you're going to have some hands that tell a story about your life. And so now that this story is ending, we are all going to work together to help collect some food again this Sunday to help some more of our friends. And then we will head out to our classes with our leaders. So, thank you so much for your great answers.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. And today's service is a little different. Not only is Reverend Ben not here, but we're talking about aging, the mystery of aging today. So we thought it would be a good idea to have different people's perspectives on what aging is all about from different ages. And we're going to begin with the youngest of our speakers. Elliot Zitnyar will come up and speak to us. If you see Elliot, she's often working with the children on Sunday mornings. Then we'll hear from Bianca, me later in the service, and then Ruth Bentley later after that.
Hi, I've never been up on a stand like this. This is a lot. But, so for the first draft I wrote on this, I actually lost it. It was on a piece of paper that I left in my pocket. But honestly, I think that was a good thing. It gave me more time to really think about what I wanted to say. But firstly, I'm Elliot Zitnyar. I use any pronouns, and I turned 18 on October 21st of this year. Honestly, wasn't all that exciting, in my opinion, because adulthood can be kind of daunting to be right around the corner and really not know how to handle it or what to do, because that's not really something mom or dad tells you about. In my case, that was not really something they prepared me for. They prepared me to be 18, but not move past that, if that makes sense. Sorry, I'm shaky. This is scary. Why, thank you. So, oh goodness. I appreciate it. You know, a lot of the time leading up to being 18, I found myself sitting in quiet spaces and honestly freaked out a little bit, because I wished time could stop, because it was just so pretty, and I knew I had to move forward. But after my party, I went home, and instead of everything being new and exciting and scary, as I had expected, it was mundane. It was nothing new, and I found myself repeating that, you know, nothing's new. And my lovely partner pretty quickly caught on to my worries about that and decided to take me rock climbing to cheer me up, you know, get my body moving. Again, nothing was really new. So we get up inside and up to the front desk to check in. My partner Luke got checked in with no problem, but then when it was my turn, these are front and back. The front desk told me that there was something wrong and that I had to re-sign my safety waivers. And I'd kind of sunk into this comfortability of nothing was new. I didn't have to do anything new. And I thought to myself, like, it's been 10 years of me climbing at this gym. I don't understand. Why do I have to re-sign my waiver? Because I was 18, you know? And that kind of clicked, you know? My mom isn't responsible for me. I am. I'm a crybaby. Sorry about that. But you know, that clicked, and I realized that I bear the full weight of, you know, whatever happens to me now, and it doesn't really have to be my fault. Just, I know that I bear the weight of it. Best way I can describe being 18 is that it's kind of lonely, because everyone tells you you're going to be on your own. That's scary. Be on my own. But, you know, I'm adjusting, and I'm just crying because I'm anxious. But, you know, life is getting more and more exciting. Everything sort of has a meaning now. You know, I never had that before. That's new. But lastly, I would like to share a little excerpt from a poem written by Franz Wright. and it says, "It's the last day of somebody's childhood, and and every day I'll try to do one thing I like in memory of being happy." I'm Elliot. I turned 18 on October 21st of this year. I'm still learning how to fully love and embrace living, but each deep breath gets me a little closer, and thank you for your time. That's all I got.
Thank you, Elliot, and we're all here for you. Now we come to the time in our service for joys, sorrows, and concerns. Those of you on YouTube Live, you're not in this room, but your presence is still felt. Please type your joys and sorrows into the text chat. If you have a joy, sorrow, or concern to submit during the week, please write to Reverend Ben at minister@uustpete.org. And right now, Reverend Bud Murphy will place a stone in the water for each one that was submitted this week.
First, a stone of concern for Dwight Lawton. His daughter, Lee, writes, "My father, Dwight Lawton, is in the hospital with pneumonia at St. Anthony's just before his 93rd birthday. Please keep him in your thoughts."
A stone of concern from new member Rob Myers. He will be having open heart surgery on Friday, December 15th. He writes, "I am expecting to be in hospital for 5 to 7 days at Largo Medical Center. Fortunately, his son is coming from Atlanta for a couple of weeks, and his spouse, Luis, will be caring for him post-surgery. He says that he welcomes compassionate messages, thoughts, and prayers."
A stone of joy from Karen Frank. Dave had surgery on Thursday. It was successful and all that they had hoped for. He's home and walking around the house. They are both very happy.
I believe that was Karen Cole, wasn't it? Karen Cole.
Okay. It says Karen.
Maybe Karen Frank wrote it for Karen and Dave
There you
Cole.
go.
There you go. Thank you.
Okay. And we have a stone of concern from Joanne. It says, "My mom's friend Lily was recently diagnosed with colon cancer."
We have another stone of concern from Susan Gore. Oh, this is the one I wrote already. Rob Myers.
This is a stone of joy from Earl. "The recovery and the return of William." And last, I have a joy from me. I want to say thank you to my covenant group for giving me the courage to call out unconscious bias at my workplace. It's really hard to do. It's really, really, really hard to do. I just want to repeat that. But it's necessary. It's necessary. And I can't wait to fellowship with you all again.
Yay. And the last card that I have is from Amy Simpson, a stone of concern or sorrow. Danny Simpson threw himself in front of the bright line yesterday. He died. He was her uncle. He came out to Amy as being gay 15 years ago. He was very depressed and had just lost his job.
May our hearts not become callous by the never-ending incidences of oppression and hatred faced by many each day.
If you would all repeat with me. Rather, may we keep our hearts open to the positive efforts of many people causing good trouble in the world. May we have the strength to demand and gain the right for all people to have a safe place to sleep, health care to keep them strong, and the knowledge that their lives matter. Struggle is taking longer than it should, but we will get there if we continue to strive for basic human rights.
May all of us find a comforting and compassionate presence in the warmth of fellowship and community.
And we will place the final stone for those joys and sorrows that remain in our hearts, perhaps too tender to be spoken out loud. The mystery is that we are connected even when we feel apart. Let us rejoice in our beloved community that makes of the many one. And now let us take about a minute of silence together. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Oh, in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
That song always hits me in the feels. I don't know about y'all, but it just does something to me. Hello, my name is Bianca. I'm a 37-year-old perfectionist. Now you're supposed to say, thank you, thank you. Perfectionism in psychology is a broad personality trait characterized by a person's concern with striving for a flawless life and is accompanied by critical self-evaluations and regarding others' evaluations. There will be a test on that later. That is me in every sense of the word. How does this show up in my life, right? I've been a rule follower. I am a serial advice taker. I gather all of these gems, these little hidden gems from people whose knowledge is way bigger than mine, and I put them in my little toolbox, my perfectly organized toolbox of life, and I follow all the good advice taken, and it's like a custom roadmap. It's like a thunder blanket. It makes me feel so good. I did all the things. And this process, however, eliminates and limits some of the mysteries of life in exchange for a planned adventure with lots of forced fun. The problem with this, though, is what happens when things don't go according to plan, right? Like for me, that's catastrophic. Like that is the worst thing that could ever happen. I planned, how could this go off base? This doesn't sound right. Until recently, though, aging has been a breeze because things have always fallen into place for me. My youth felt eternal, and I had been riding this wave of good luck and losing 5 pounds at the thought and nice supple knees. But nothing could stop me. Nothing could stop me. I followed the rules my whole life. And my last step, the last little piece in my toolbox for being such a good girl, was to start a family. But that hasn't been the case for me. Although my birth certificate says that I'm 37 years old, according to my fertility doctors, I'm a lot older in that region. So that was heartbreaking. I'm aging in hyperspeed. Like this doesn't sound right. My friends are aging at the right age. They're having babies at this stage in life, but I'm not so fortunate. That news sent me into a dangerous line of thinking, looking into the past, instead of focusing on the future, you know, that train of thought of wondering what I should have done when I was younger, wondering if, you know, that advice was the best advice, which road I should have taken over another. And it's very damaging. But I've decided to change the way I see things, mainly because my circle of friends and my awesome covenant group, if you don't have one, you should get one. Sometimes when you're constantly ascending this mountain, this is my frame of thought, it may not work for anyone else, but it's been working for me. When you're constantly ascending the mountain, you're kicking butt and you're making it to the top of the mountaintop, and you catch sight of another mountain that interests you, in my case, motherhood. Sometimes you have to descend the current mountain in order to walk through the valley and trek up this brand new mountain. In all of this, you get to see the other side of your skill set, what it's like to come down this treacherous mountain. And you get to flex these different muscles and find this strength that you never thought you had. And you soon realize that you're a little bit stronger than you thought. Then, while the valley can seem dark at times, but you have to fight to find the peace in the waiting and the longing. You have to fight to find those little pieces of enjoyment in life while keeping a steady eye on what's ahead for you, of what you really want, and be ready to accept that next challenge. So as you pack up your new backpack and gather your Sherpas, and you head to this new mountain, and you start to ascend, flex those new muscles that you just developed, it's hard. You stumble, and you get pissed off, and you just want to go back to the bottom, sit in your valley, and wait some more, but you have to keep going. And so the mystery in all of this, in my aging fertility, is how beautiful the view is, even when things are low and slow. You have no idea what's on this new mountain. You cannot possibly imagine what that view is going to look like, but it will be breathtaking. It just may not be what you envisioned. And this beauty can only be seen through the eyes of the beholder, and that is you. The mystery of what it reveals you, it's enough. It is enough, and you are enough. And that is me. That is it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, choir. Thank you, Johnny. I forgot to mention earlier in this service what a wonderful time we had on Friday night caroling. There were almost 70 of us that went caroling to 3 or 4 different locations, to shelters and to apartments and even to the shuffleboard club. And the best thing about it was how many donations we received that night for the homeless. When we arrived here, there were 2 banquet tables that were chock-a-block full of donations of every kind, clothes, food, everything. And then we went over to the Lutheran departments, and they gave a huge amount of donations, the residents there, again, of socks, underwear, everything that they had been told that we could use. So Celebrate Outreach did a great job, and it had quite a payoff on Friday night, and everybody that was there was really blessed. When I was a child, any time that I balked at my parents' instructions, one of my father's favorite nuggets of wisdom, which he loved to impart to me, was how amazed he had been at all that his parents had learned between the time he was an adolescent, when they really didn't know much of anything, and when he became an adult, when they were very, very wise. I don't know how many times he told me that story. Did any of you have parents that had the same kind of story? Obviously, my dad was saying that as he aged, his parents' wisdom and life experiences began to make more and more sense to him as his perspective changed and evolved. I found myself being reminded of that over and over as I've gotten older. And what I'm learning now is that it's a continual process. It's not like that, as I expected when I was young, upon reaching adulthood, I'd suddenly adopt my parents' point of view on life magically, and as everything became clearer to me, I'd see things just as they had. Far from it. Rather, in each phase of aging, I find I'm being reminded of things that my parents said and did in their lives, as each year brings me more insight, empathy, gratitude, and compassion for the lives that they lived and how they raised me. A small example, when I was young and still living at home, I could never understand why my parents didn't want to be out doing anything at night. They never wanted to be out going places, going to dinner. I thought they were so boring. The fact that my dad had to be up every morning at 5 o'clock to go to his business where he was on his feet all day didn't figure into the equation for me. Fast forward to present day, to now, John and I do still love to go out a lot, but in the back of my mind, many nights, what I'd really rather do is stay home, watch TV, and go to bed. And we discussed that quite a bit. More disturbingly, and with increasing frequency, I'll find myself saying or doing something, and suddenly I'm struck with the overwhelming dread that I'm becoming my mother. And if you knew my mother, you'd understand some of that. But is there anyone here who hasn't had that shocking realization? Why is it that it's almost never the things I loved about my mom that I see in myself? Either. There's no escaping our DNA, I guess. It's there. It may be lurking, but it's there. But on the flip side of that, what I find most beautiful about the aging process, at this point in my life, in the cycle of life, how we all experience it. Betty Friedan said, aging is not lost youth, but a new stage of opportunity and strength. What a beautiful thing in the cycle of life it is to be in the presence of a newborn baby. This brand new being that has only been on earth for a very short time with nothing but possibilities and everything that life has to offer ahead. What is admittedly scarier, but I think equally beautiful, is the other end of life. When John and I were still living on Cape Cod, we were blessed to be with 20 members of our chorus one cold midwinter night as we went to an ailing member's house to sing with her and to her. Unexpectedly, mid-song, she breathed her final breath right there in the song circle. We all stayed there with her wife until the early hours of the morning, singing, praying, drumming, crying, eating. The intense beauty of that experience in the midst of grief and sadness was really striking. Another lesson that I'm learning from this aging thing is something we've all heard, but I'm beginning to really experience. The realization of what is really important in life. Looking back and remembering my younger self over the years, there have been many different things I considered to be of primary importance at different stages in my life. From my 20s as a newly out gay man, when clothes and appearance were everything, to my career in New York, when making as much money as I could and being as successful as possible in my chosen field, to finding the perfect partner. And boy, did I score big on that one. I'm finally realizing that what is truly lasting and what will outlive me, now that I'm in the phase of life when I realize that I do have an expiration date, is how I treat others and what I do to make the world a better place after I'm gone. Many of the things that once seemed so important to me now seem trivial and superficial. Love really is all that endures. Funny how things I've heard all my life that seemed pretty trite, after hearing them over and over, take on new meaning as I begin to understand them on a deeper level. Thanks, Dad, for your sage advice.
Ooh, this is a good service. So we're so grateful to have this beautiful building and wonderful staff, our shared services, and most importantly, your presence. The offering will now be given to take care of this fabulous community.
Ain't no miracle being born, people doing it every day. Ain't no miracle growing up, people just grow that way. So it goes, like the river flows, and time keeps rolling on. And maybe what's good gets a little bit better, and maybe what's bad gets gone. Bless the child of a working man. She knows too soon who she is. Bless the hands of a working man. He knows his soul is his. So it goes, like like the river flows, and time keeps rolling on. And maybe what's good gets a little bit better, and maybe what's bad gets gone. So it goes, like the river flows, and time keeps rolling on. And maybe what's good gets a little bit better, and maybe what's bad gets gone.
That was beautiful. What's given in love, we receive with great joy, and we say thank you. Come on up here, Miss Ruthie baby.
Good morning. And it is a good morning. And it's going to be a beautiful day. Most of you know me as Ruth. I'm really Ruth Berner Mader Mauer Bentley. And yes, I've had 3 loving husbands. I am also the mother of the 4 wonderful Mader boys, Rich, Jim, and you know Bill and John. When I asked to talk to Reverend Ben about aging, I didn't know he was going to turn the tables on me and ask me to talk to you about it. But here I am. When my sons and my UU family had a memorable 90th birthday party for me in June, one of my church friends gave me this. I keep it where I can see it all the time. It says, "Old age is not for sissies." A quote from Betty Davis. It has a picture of a dancing lion happily holding a rose. That is true. Old age is not always easy, both physically and mentally. I've been widowed twice. I'm a stage 3 colon cancer survivor. I've had 13 major surgeries. In the past 4 years, I've shattered my femur, broken my pelvis. I can't drive. Most of my longtime friends have passed away or moved closer to family. My memory and my eyesight are not as good as they used to be. I could go on and on with how my body doesn't cooperate with me. Complaining is easy, but it is also not productive. Instead, I am here to tell you that I am so grateful to have lived to this age. Every day, a new mystery, our theme, might unfold. Today's technology with iPhone, iPad, Mac, and Facebook all keep me in contact with my friends and my family. Technology brings my 4 boys, 2 stepdaughters, 5 grandchildren, 5 soon-to-be 7 great-grandchildren, all into my living room. Son John and Bill take wonderful care of me, and I am still very lucky to be able to stay at home. Our 2 little doggies, Allie and Baxter, and I live out in Palmetto with son John, who is a skilled cook, caregiver, and cleaner. He also keeps an eye on me so that I don't try to do things that I am not physically able to do, and that isn't easy. Son Bill is going to be moving to South Carolina and will be missed. We are always aging together, but just in differing ages or stages. I hope you all embrace the mystery of the process. I'll close with a familiar quote from Robert Browning. Grow old along with me. Best is sure yet to be. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Ruth. Please rise as you are able to sing hymn number 1051 in the teal hymnal, We Are.
This great song was written by Esai Barnwell. Some of you may recognize that name from Sweet Honey in the Rock. Sweet Honey in the Rock. Yeah, thank you. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the spirit of. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are.
Today's closing words are from a song that we all know well. I really like it, so I decided to quote it. Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
Now we invite you to say our chalice extinguishing as John extinguishes our chalice. The words to UUSP's traditional chalice extinguishing are in your order of service and online in the text chat. We extinguish this flame, not the light of truth, the warmth of love, or the fire of courage. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world. Now please join us for coffee hour in Gilmore Hall. Our worship is over, but our service begins. We hope this time together will help you through your week. Will help you remember you are not alone as you age. Blessings.
Thank you, everyone.